Hey guys, it's Danny. Today we're gonna try out a little something that was recommended by one of my viewers. We're gonna try to make these bamboo skewers usable with orchids. Now many of us use them to stake up pseudobulbs or canes or flower spikes, but the bad thing with them is they mold, and they do this really fast. And I even had some roots being quite damaged by that mold and by these bamboo skewers. So I usually try to rotate them. After about a week, I remove them and place a new skewer, but that's not economical, and I also don't like that mold, particularly in my inorganic setup. So one of you guys suggested that I coat this bamboo skewer with nail polish, and that's what we're gonna test out today and see if it works. And I actually have here an orchid that could use some staking. I was neglectful with this one, and the cane grew at a very weird angle. It's not space saving, and also I think I have some buds developing right here, which is good news. But if the flowers start to develop at this angle, it's not gonna make for a pretty display. So I have here some nail polish, and it's actually my favorite top coat, so it's only gonna be used for this experiment, and then I'm just gonna go buy a cheap clear nail polish. But it should give us an idea if this thing really works in time, and it actually keeps bamboo skewers from molding. So let's see how much of the stake we need to cover, and it's about a little more than half. So what I'm gonna do is try to coat this bamboo skewer in nail polish. Oh, and it hurts me to do so because this top coat is not exactly cheap. So I'll try to make sure that every bit of the bamboo stake is covered, and I'm actually gonna go a little bit further up, and I actually think we are good. So as you can see, the bamboo skewer already changed color. It got a little bit darker, and the good thing about this top coat is that it dries very fast, so in a few minutes we can actually use the stake. Okay, we're back, and my stake is dried up to the touch, so we can use it in the pot. In the case of my cattleya here, all I want to do is straighten up this cane, and as you can see, it's really flexible. No worries. More problematic is that I don't know where the roots are inside this medium. They're kind of everywhere. Okay, for some reason this really doesn't want to go in. Okay, found a spot. And it's in. What I can tell you is that it really doesn't glide all that easy, and it's a little bit sticky. Although the polish is dry, slightly sticky when you press on it, and also it doesn't glide. But maybe that's just a ceramis thing, because bark and moss obviously are softer than ceramis. And the good news is we have a new root growing here, and it's gonna grow very close to the stake. So if the stake is actually toxic, we're gonna see on that new root. And here it is, my orchid is all staked up. And I'm gonna water this orchid, obviously, and after a few waterings, we're gonna pull the stake out and take a look at it. We'll see if it molds just like the other stakes. So we'll continue this video in a week or two, and we'll take a look at the stake that sit inside the pot. Okay, so my camera did not record, but I wanna try out actual nail polish with a bamboo skewer as well, because you can actually see where you place it, so it's easy not to miss any spots. So just in case the other one I prepared has spots that are not covered in nail polish, I'm gonna prepare the stake where I make sure everything is covered, just so we see if molds actually manage to find a way through the nail polish and attack the actual bamboo skewer. So I would say this is pretty even. So I'm gonna use this as well with another orchid, and again, in a few weeks we're gonna come back and see how they look like. And this is actually next day, and it's slightly tacky to the touch, I have to say. 24 hours later, and this nail polish done completely dry. So we're gonna use this with this orchid. This is the Encyclia Green Hornet. Beautiful orchid, horrendous smell to my nose. It's a personal thing. So I'm gonna try to place this stake here because this bulb is leaning too much. Let's see, where would it be a good position? Here. Okay, so this one, yeah, this one was okay. She's a lot tidier. So yeah, again, we're gonna take a look in about a week or two and see if these bamboo skewers mold. And actually, let me show you how the bamboo skewer becomes in time. See what I mean? And this is already blackened and starting to decompose, but first what it does, it has a lot of fuzzy mold on it. And what will happen if I leave this on and I don't replace it is that it will become very mushy, disintegrate somewhere in my medium, which is not okay because I am using an organic medium. I don't want any organics in the medium. I'm curious to see if the nail polish will make a difference, and of course if it's toxic or it actually leaches out toxins around the roots. Okay, so this is 1 week and a half later and 2 waterings later. My orchid is still okay. Let's take a look at the bamboo skewer. As you can see, no mold. and the root is growing very close to the bamboo skewer. So I'll give it a bit more time to see if the root actually dies off or gets burned. I just want to lift it up a little bit. Yeah, as you can see, there is no mold on this flower spike. Let's put it back in. Oh, I messed it up a little, but it is very close to the root. If it's emanating something toxic, it should affect this root. Okay, about 2 weeks and a half have passed. Let's see how our flower stakes look today. Now, as you can see, there is no mold. Let's try to pluck this out just a little. Let's focus. I don't want to disturb that root. But let's see. No, actually it's not mold. It's just a little bit of staining, but it's not mold. Everything is very firm to the touch. The stake is not wet. I didn't water this orchid lately. And the root is not in bad condition. You might see a little bit of veining there, but if you remember last time I did touch it and bruised it a little bit with the flower stake. So it's not toxic reaction, it's just a little bruise. The root is still growing strong there. So I don't think this is actually toxic for the root. I would have preferred this root to actually go around the flower stake, but if nothing is leaching out in the area, then most probably there's nothing toxic for the roots here. So I think this actually works and it keeps the flower stakes from getting some molds, which is good. Of course, I would need to have a root to attach to the stake to be completely sure, but right now I suspect it will not harm the root itself. So in this case, everything worked great, but we have another one that we need to take a look at. We also colored this stake with a different color, and I already pulled it out a little bit to show you. There is no mold on this flower stake. It looks very, very good. Let's put it back. And again, I don't have any weird staining on the roots very close to the stake. I didn't really want to push the stake against any root. Maybe I should have. But yeah, eventually roots will start to grow around the stake and I'll see if it's toxic. But it really does not release anything toxic around the orchid, so I suspect this is safe to use. So far so good. This method actually works and I'm really, really happy because that mold on the stakes is really not beneficial for the orchids, and sometimes that mold gets on the roots themselves, and I did see some damage, some burning, something that I didn't like. And with time, these stakes actually manage to snap off because they go into the decomposition process, they become brittle, and I did have a few that snapped off after, I don't know, a month or so. So really depends on what type of orchid you have and how wet you maintain the pot. If it's very wet, this stake will snap off, and if the stake sustains an already mature pseudobulb and you keep it there for maintenance, that's a problem. So for now, the experiment is a success. I'll continue to observe it and I'll continue to use it for other orchids as well and see how they do. I don't believe it leaches out toxins. This root would have already been black by now if there was anything strange happening. I'm not sure what happens when the roots start to attach to the flower stake. So for this reason, I think this is a success. And for now, I'm quite happy with the result. I'm happy with the fact that it doesn't mold and that it doesn't leach out toxins for the roots. So thank you for suggesting this idea. I put it to the test. I like it. There are some people who suggest placing nail polish on an infected leaf or structure can help manage the infection and stop it from spreading. I will definitely test that as well. Although cinnamon does do a good job for me, but you know, for the sake of experiment, why not? I'll test that out as well when I have an infection on a leaf. So I hope this experiment was useful and fun. And if you want to replicate it yourself, do it on one orchid first. Don't go ahead and put these types of stakes on all of your collection. That's never a good idea. When you're testing out something, test it with one orchid, see how it does, draw conclusions for yourselves, and that's the best approach to things. So alrighty guys, thank you for watching. Hope you found this useful. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe to my channel for daily orchid and plants videos, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. And with that said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye! So I wanted to film this orchid in bloom for the What's in Bloom video at the end of the month, and one of the flowers died. It was so sudden. Yesterday it was okay, today it's not okay anymore. So yeah, sorry about that. The footage with What's in Bloom this time will not be so pretty. In case you don't know this girl, she is Bellara Diana Dunn Gothic. Absolutely fantastic, absolutely hardy, in love with this orchid. You can see she looks quite nice, no setback, totally worth it. If you find it, go for it. I don't think you will regret it.